Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be something that I kind of put away for a while, but I'm glad to bring it back. It is the MBTI style critique. I realized that I haven't done all 16 personality types, so I'm lacking ISFP and INFP and also ESFJ. If I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna make sure that I complete the playlist. So today's video is going to be about INFPs. INFPs is quite fascinating. I've been studying the style for quite a bit, which initially I got a pretty good sense of what INFP style is all about, but then it got a little bit confusing, but I'll explain a little bit more why. I think these are very individualistic types with styles that are quite unique to their emotions. So hopefully I'll be able to break it down, some of the observation, and to share with you my professional advice when it comes to how INFP should wear and what do I actually think about their stereotypical style. I'll be using references from C.S. Joseph when he uses this to type all the famous people, celebrities. So in order for this to be concrete, for you to take a reference from, I will be using images of celebrities, famous people that are typed as INFP and decode their dressing style. This could actually validate whether some of the things that, or your personal style, is this very much in line with how a stereotypical INFP would look. You will also be asking yourself, why do I want to look like a stereotype INFP? To be honest, some people are very much into dressing their authentic self. So as a personal stylist, I hear so much blabber out there about how to develop your personal style, how to develop your signature style, but where is the substance? So for me, I believe that authenticity comes from knowing what your personality type is and your traits, and how do you encode it on your clothing or your personal styling so that when you show yourself, it goes congruent with your cognitive functions or your personality traits. But I also use this to coach people to emulate other types by creating looks that will make them appear more like other MBTI types, which is going to be more strategic rather than manipulative, because at the end of the day, what you wear can influence other people. What you wear can influence how you feel. So a lot of times, self-expression can also be self-therapy. What you wear can shape the way you feel or think about yourself and how other things think about you. And so it can also be a tool for image creation or your own personal branding. Why am I having flu? Alright, so INFP. When you go through all the mood board of INFP, let's just look at it. INFP fashion. Right? It's very easy. You just Google INFP fashion and then you just click image. You'll be able to see all this Pinterest, mood board images describing what INFP would wear. And typically, it doesn't really give you a sense of what the style is, because I've also tried exploring ENFPs. It all pretty much looks the same. Therefore, I was so inspired to create my own course on Udemy, creating my own mood board and giving a distinctive take of what each MBTI would look like and their personal style. But let's focus on the stereotypical perception of INFPs, because they are driven by their introverted feeling, which is FI, which is authenticity. That's their hero or first function, which means that they need to be themselves. They're not going to try to be somebody else. So I don't expect an INFP who is going to the corporate world, unless they have tapped into the subconscious. That's a different story. I don't expect INFP who first few time going to the corporate world is going to dress for success. It's going to look super corporate, which is going to be all about like, I'm going to dress something that is not me so that I can impress other people. It's not natural for INFPs. INFPs are pretty similar to ISFPs in terms of their dressing style, because they both have FI, which is very much into their authenticity. It's just that ISFPs, I think, is a little bit more explorative and out there. I will explain a bit more in the ISFP video. So INFPs, they can also end up looking pretty creative, but in a subtle way. Why do I say that? Because they have extroverted intuition as their parent or second function. So FINE. NE is all about exploration, thinking about novelty, possibilities, trying to do something new. So how I feel, something new. So I think it's quite an interesting one because, like I said in the earlier part of this video, when I first researched about them, it was quite clear to me that they dress to not conform. They like to look pretty relaxed, casual, don't really want to dress up too much and show themselves in a very flamboyant or trying too hard kind of way. I think I will use the word effortless. They like to be effortless, right? So I went to the forums on Reddit and tried to look for all the tags about INFP dressing style, INFP fashion style, INFP personal style, and INFP's take on fashion. And I come across two different kinds. So one of it is very much casual, t-shirt, slack, I don't really give a shit about fashion. And then the other group is like pretty gothic and dark and emo, preppy, that kind of vibe where they're quite fashionable, but like in a way where it's not like high fashion, it's not like very classy or polished or elevated. It's more of like a cult. Like, this is my style, accept it, like it or not, but I like it, which is the most important thing. So for INFP, ISFP, they are more explorative because they have extroverted sensing rather than extroverted intuition as their parent function. So they are more like, ooh, new trend, ooh, like looking at details, and they try to combine it like an artist rather than INFPs, which is more about the concept. But then ISFPs is more about, yes, concept is important, but I also like to look at mix and matching things, and maybe sometimes it doesn't match because I'm an artist. You get what I'm saying? But then both of them have extroverted thinking as their inferior function. So I often see inferior function have a big part to play in someone's sense in fashion or fashion sense. So INFPs have extroverted thinking as their inferior function would mean that extroverted thinking is all about effectiveness, which is all about credibility, reputation, is caring about what people think, but it's low in their stack. So I would say that a stereotypical INFP wouldn't care about what people think of them in terms of their dressing. So that's why I say they are not the kind of person that will wear dress for success, dress to impress kind of vibe. If they do it, it's like unnatural, but if they do it, it could also be something that, let's say, they're being brought aware of, they have mastered it, or they have some skills, they can actually put up that image for themselves. But it is not something that is natural. And it's not something that I think they prefer. So if you tell any INFPs who maybe have great fashion sense or dress in an elevated way, you ask them, can you do this like every day for the rest of the year? I don't think they can. Versus ESTJ, ENTJ, which naturally they have extroverted thinking as their first function. So they do care a lot about what people think of them, their reputation, their status, their credibility, and so they have to wear a certain way to exude that. Okay, before this video gets too long, I want to go into the example. So I will go through the men INFPs first, then I will go through the ladies. So stay tuned for that. I think both gender can get inspiration from each other, but at the end of it, I will do a roundup of what I actually think of the INFP style and how I would style them. So, Jake Gyllenhaal. Did I pronounce it properly? I hope so. So, Jake Gyllenhaal is actually INFP. So, in this photo, he appears in GQ magazine a lot, actually. So, it's considered very stylish. But you can see like how he has this very effortless way of showing up in his individualistic style. Why do I say that? It's because it's not something that is conventional. It's when you wear Oxford, is that an Oxford shoe? When you wear lace-up shoe that looks extremely formal, you would typically wear it with a shirt that is buttoned up or with a proper blazer and not with wash-like jeans. But for FI user, I think it's very much, this is who I am and this is how I show my style, so you either accept it or not. I think this is very much an FI thing. This is why I say they are not You cannot group that under the high fashion category where like most people approve of the looks. It's creative, it's unique to its own. Some people will love it, some people will just hate it. I think majority of Jake Gyllenhaal's photos are very much casual. It's t-shirt, chino, relaxed pants, sneakers, a lot of shirt, relaxed pants, sneakers. Let's see. When attending event, let's see if there's anything unusual about it. Yeah, so I think Kurt Cobain as well is typed as INFP, very similar, a little bit of that grungy style. It's like, I want to show that I have a bad boy side, casual, but not too much, to the point of looking like ENTPs, like a super rebel, but I think it's a bit in between that. So this is another look where, you see, like, it's just his own individualistic style where it's a proper blazer, but it's a loose white t-shirt on the inside, and then with, obviously, your sport pants and block sneakers. I think this is a high top. No, it's actually a low cut sneakers. So something pretty unconventional, which is why I say this is a very FI thing and low TE thing. Now, I would like to reference a few celebrity style just to get a sense of where the pattern is coming from. So another one that I can pull out would be Jared Leto. Is a very interesting one. Like, I can see myself dressing like him sometimes. Jared Leto. Who don't know Jared Leto? Come on, he's already famous without having any association with Gucci, but ever since he did that, obviously his sense of style just exploded. The whole maximalist. Okay, so if this is like FI on fleek, FI dominant and FI hero, because this is just dressing the way that I want, and I don't really care what people think, because this is me being true to myself, and I'm truly expressing my artistic or genuine self. Really much portrays that. You can see in his style. So this is why I say sometimes INFPs can end up looking a bit like ENFPs. ENFPs, they can change their styles from day to day. But INFPs, they do have their own signature style because they have higher SI, introverted sensing, which is more of a routine. Whereas ENFPs, they are more lower SI inferior, which means that they don't stick to a routine. That's why their style keeps changing. For INFPs, they do have the edgy side to them that is considered more youthful and quirky rather than very dark and intimidating. Let's see some examples of Jared Leto. Look at this green suit, totally conceptualized. And then this is another look that I think is pretty effortless, but totally high opulent top that looks super avant-garde, super embellished, super feminine. Something about INFP guys, there's a bit of that masculine feminine thing that's going on around their personal style. Okay, so now let's move on to the female INF. So I have Lana Del Rey. So INFPs are often, especially for the female INFPs, are often mistaken with INFJ. Their styles can be very similar between INFJ and INFP women. So Lana Del Rey's style, let's see. It's stereotypically, I would see INFPs as someone that is a bit more quirky, youthful, and they tend to dress younger. But then INFJ tend to be more polished, classy, and ladylike. They're both very different. They both can be very feminine. Del Rey, I think her style also, well, there's a bit of the effortless vibe. I don't know if this is something that INFJ does, but because INFJ has extroverted sensing inferior, so sometimes they care a lot about how they appear. So that's why INFJs will do their very best to try to stylize and dress up. But I think INFPs, like I said, because they have extroverted thinking inferior, they couldn't care about what people think. Therefore, sometimes they really just wear whatever they want, to the point that even if it's something that is pretty casual or like them laying low in an event, it's completely fine. They do not want to outshine or overdress. Let's check out other website because this is not very holistic. Yeah, I think maybe the true Lana Del Rey is just wearing t-shirt and jeans. That's all she cares about. Or just t-shirt and skirt with ballerina flat. Is that her? I think it's her, right? It's casual in her own quirky way. The best way that I would describe. Now, let's look at another female INFP that I think is very fascinating. When I mentioned her name, you guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, of course. So it's Björk. Did I pronounce it correctly? I didn't butcher it. Björk. Obviously, Björk is known as one of the fashion icon. I don't know what happened to her. I don't really keep up with all this celebrity stuff, to be honest. I'm only doing this for MBTI style critique. So as we know, Björk is being talked about in fashion a lot because she has a very eccentric, that's the key word, eccentric, eclectic, a mix of different style. It becomes like a mashup of, I don't know what style this is, but it's so artistic and it's so individualistic, very FI. So that is Björk. I think her looks are very mismatched, but in her own unique artistic way, which, like I said, again, it's not for everybody to appreciate. That's not what FI is all about. FE is for people who appreciate. I just want to see like paparazzi picture. Oh, especially this one. This is like a very fashion INFPs, I would say. What do I mean by a very fashion INFPs? Because they go against the rule of fashion. Like people say, do not mix more than 3 colors or 2 colors in an outfit. They won't do it because they feel this is good for them and they feel like this is genuinely expressing them. So they would just do it. So eclectic is what I would describe it. Yeah, she's mixing all the different textures together that only she would see the vision of it and she would appreciate. But you never know, because it's from this kind of FINE situation, authenticity and trying to create new things or exploration, where you become a trendsetter. Okay, now let's do a summary. So what do I actually think of INFP style? This is a tough one. I'm having a blocked nose for some reason, I'm not sure why. Okay, so what do I think of INFP style? For men, I think you are missing out a lot on trying to showcase your competence. You are some of the greatest minds out there, and because you're so in touch with your feelings, you can actually inspire a lot of people. But when you dress shabbily and you wear a lot of casual clothes, you kind of show people like you don't care about yourself. This is me really advising those INFPs out there that think that they have no fashion sense, that they have no objective in trying to look good, or they think that dressing to impress is not something that is important. But I highly disagree. In today's world, as much as we are very focused on ourselves, being able to connect with others and being able to inspire others is going to help you to have more of your FI, to be more genuine with yourself, to know that you're actually doing good to the world. Without FE, it's just being selfish. And so I think for INFP men, if you are already casual but you're not taking care of your appearance, your grooming, trying to smell good, or at least do up your hair a little bit, like that is a problem, right? And so it's not about trying to make you to be something that you're not, but it's trying to bring out the best in you so that people don't judge you in the wrong way. Yes, we do not have to care about what people think, but sometimes in order to get what you want or in order to progress in life, you do have to some sense care about what people think. Your outfit is the state of your mind, it's a reflection, and so I don't think you want to reflect anything that is bad because it's not going to help you to be the best version of yourself unless you are living in the planet on your own. But I must say, this is just me talking to the stereotypical INFP who don't care about fashion. I actually know a few INFP men who dress extremely well, and especially when they overcome their inferior function, which is extroverted thinking, and they emulate their subconscious, which is ESTJ, they are one of the best dressers out there. Like nobody, even the original ESTJ cannot beat them. So I think, yes, be true to yourself, but also know where the balance is. If you want me to pick among what the references that I just showed, I think Jake Gyllenhaal is doing a pretty good job. Like, he doesn't try too hard. It's effortless. Like, you know, some of the pictures that I showed earlier where he puts on a blazer with something very casual on the inside. Actually, that blazer is something that he doesn't want to wear, but he's, you know what? To be honest, I just want to wear my loose t-shirt and baggy joggers with sneakers, but then I will look like a bum. So let's just put on a blazer. I think that is where the magic is. Okay, so now what I think about the INFP female style. So I do appreciate the quirkiness of INFP ladies. I do get inspiration from INFP ladies when I have moments where I want to look youthful, I want to look like I'm an artist, like I'm a creative person. When I want to have an image for myself where it's important that people see me as someone that has ideas and is able to be creative. Especially in the world of fashion, you do need to show that you are quite versatile. Sometimes I like to use INFP as a reference to create a look that helps me to get what I want. More colors, more mismatch, and trying to just not care about what people think and really just mix something that maybe is just not a conventional way of mixing it, but it's just me showing up the way that I want to, which is very much an authentic and courageous thing. My advice for ladies would be the same as the INFP men, but for ladies, because they are a bit more quirky, I think there is the pros and cons. So the cons of being too quirky and being too eccentric with your style is you make it hard for people to relate to you. You make it difficult for people to see like whether are you a sensible and practical person, are you a reliable person, where people like ISTJ and ISFJs, maybe they look very boring sometimes because it's like they're wearing the same thing over and over again. But the stereotypical ISTJs, yeah, they can look boring, but people would ultimately go for them sometimes because they appear very reliable and structured. And that's something that is lacking in INFP's outfit. So just some clues for you there. I would try to maybe tone it down on the colors, maybe play with more texture. Tone it down on colors, but play up on your accessories. Go for quirky shoes, bags, necklaces. That could be a way for you to stylize or individualize your look without trying to come up with a whole conceptual look that a lot of people can disassociate with. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you're an INFP, let me know if my analysis is off or correct. It will help me in some sense because I do hope to create more videos relating to MBTI and provide personalized style advice and even maybe create outfits that I think would best represent the type in a professional way, not like those random mood board way. But I must appreciate those random mood boards out there because all those creators clearly is trying to showcase something pretty interesting, how MBTI will show up in a certain way. So it is from their ideas that I got this idea anyway. So it is from their ideas that I got to where I am today. So I'm still grateful. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.